to or welcome back to my channel. My name is David and this is David's Closet. On this channel we talk about handbags, accessories, small leather goods, all of those fun and great things from my point of view and on a budget. If you like that kind of content or you know someone that does, please share my video, subscribe to my channel, like, comment, engage as much as you can. I would greatly appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything, so it's a great way for you to support creators who you enjoy watching. My channel's been kind of stalled for about a year as far as growth, so I would really appreciate a spike there. So if you could make that happen, that would be great. Today's video is exciting. You always know a video is exciting when I have sticky notes with information I need to remember on them. But it's going to be about my Coach collection, and the reason behind me it's a very sparse Coach box display is because I'm going to add the bags as I go through them. I figured that was kind of a fun way to do a collection review. And then on the stickies, I have some Coach bags that I've sold recently, and this matches perfectly, so I can just put this here and you would never know it was there. That sold recently, and kind of why, because my Coach collection is definitely always evolving, always changing. It gets really big and then it gets small, it gets big, it gets small. I'm trying to be very aware of what I'm buying because Coach by no means is affordable. I don't want anyone to watch this video and think that David says Coach is so cheap, because no, it's not. It's still very expensive. And it has gone up in price over the years, even since I've started buying back in like 2019, 2020. I've seen the prices increase on a lot of their bags, outlet and boutique. So I'll say that, but you know, they're still a lot more affordable compared to other brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, Chanel, all of those. Of course, Coach Outlet, Michael Kors, Tory Burch. I'm looking around, Rebecca Minkoff, Dooney and Burke, Kate Spade. They're a lot more affordable. They're still expensive, but affordable. So it's easier for me to justify buying something that I kind of just want to buy. You know, we all have that where I have to buy something, you know, you get that itch. So you need to buy something. So you go buy a bag for a couple $100 and, you know, compared to what you would have spent on a Louis Vuitton or a Prada, that's, you know, basically the tax on one of those bags. So then, you know, you have it in your closet, maybe you carry it once or twice, about 6 months later, you're like, you know what, I don't need that. And for me personally, I've never sold one of my ultra luxury bags, so definitely a little bit hesitant to do that. I only have one luxury bag that I really want to get rid of, so I've also been very like aware when I buy those bags not to buy a bunch of stuff that I don't know if I'm going to want, because for me, it's not as easy to sell it because A, I've never done it, so it's the fear of the unknown, and I don't live anywhere near a place that would kind of help sell. So my Coach bags though, I can list those on my Poshmark or I could list them on eBay if I wanted to, and I'm comfortable that I'll sell them. You know, the risk of scam is lower because the cost is lower. If one of these bags, you know, I sell it for $150 and it's a scam and I never see it again and I lose the money somehow, yeah, it's going to suck and I'll be very sad, but it's not the end of it. My collection is at its smallest, I think. I believe I have 9 Coach handbags in my collection right now, and at one point I had like 20. So I've definitely slimmed it down. So I'm going to show you my collection, and then I'm also going to bring in, I just picked like the most recent, like the last like 2 or 3 months worth of bags that I've sold. I'm not going to go over all my Coach bags I've sold because that's a whole video in itself, but I'm just going to start here with a random bag. And this is just bags, not SLGs, because I have a lot of those. But the first is my Coach Rowan satchel in the Pride canvas. And this is back when Coach actually did a very amazing and large Coach Pride collection at the outlet and the boutique. This is outlet, of course. I love this bag. This is a bag that will never leave my collection. Every year well, until recently, every year they did a collection and they did very similar things. This was my favorite because I like the pulls, or these like, you know, kind of utilitarian shoestring style pulls. The versions after this, they're just leather colored pull tabs and the leather is a different color. So I like this version the best and I'm glad I was able to snag it. I think I paid like $150 for it. But I do love this. I don't carry it very often, maybe once a year. And this year in June, I didn't get around to carrying it. June was a crazy month. So I'm sure at some point this summer, I'll pull this out for a day and rock it. But regardless if I carry it or not, it's never going to leave because it's my favorite one they ever did. And I can't get it again. So it's staying. The next is this Coach, and this is a boutique bag from probably the early 2000s. I don't remember the exact year. I could probably look at the tag and figure it out. But this is one of the legacy bags that has the striped legacy lining. I'll try to link the unboxings below for these because I have on videos probably on all of these. But I absolutely love this bag. Autumn Beckman actually turned me on to this. She did a whole video on the Ergo bags, and I really wanted an Ergo, one of the like 9027 or something. I don't remember the number, but it's the traditional, just simple single strap Ergo from the late 90s, early 2000s. And I've always wanted one, but I don't want to pay $400 or $500 for them, and where I'm finding them, that's what they are, in decent condition. So when Autumn did her video, she went over and she showed these, and I thought that is a really unique design. It's very similar from the front, even though it's not single strap, but that actually makes it more functional. But it's a very similar design. No hardware around the strap, just one continuous leather, you know, bag, but it's wider than the regular Ergo. It's not a zip top, but to me, this seems more functional. This is more of like a satchel meets an Ergo. I mean, you can totally wear it on your shoulder. I cannot. It's not a big enough drop. But something about this just said, you know, this is a great compromise for me because it gets me the Ergo, but it's a more functional Ergo that I'll actually use. And I do carry this bag. This is one of the Coach bags that I'm actually shocked I carry fairly frequently. At least once every couple months, this goes through the rotation. So I think I made a good choice, and I paid about $100 for it. So I'm gonna kind of trickle in the bags I've sold, maybe, and how they kind of could relate to some of these others. So I'm gonna throw this one up here, and this is my Burrow bowling bag in the color dark lime. I purchased this bag actually when I was hanging out with my friend Julie from Agent Bag Review for $212 on sale, and I brought it home. I carried it one time. I just didn't love the way my stuff fit in it. It was fairly spacious, but it was also very small still, and it didn't open very easy, and I don't know, it just wasn't a fit for me. So for what I paid for it, I decided to keep it as a beautiful display item. It's gorgeous. The color was fabulous. I loved everything about it in that aspect. And then, you know, I started buying some other bags, and I thought, you know, I have this sitting on my shelf, see if I can sell it and put that money towards, you know, one of my other bags I'm buying. So I listed it, and it actually sold fairly quickly. It took probably about 3 to 4 weeks. And I listed it at $259 just to see. And again, I always kind of research the market and see what they're going at and see what they actually look like they're selling at. And that kind of seemed like a sweet point, you know, the $250 range for them at that time. So sure enough, one day I got a couple of really lowball offers that I didn't entertain because for me, it's worth keeping it if I'm gonna lose $200 on it. So one day though, I got a notification that it sold full price, and I'm glad for the person who bought it because obviously they must love it, and I'm glad for me because I was able to clear the room off my shelves, and I was able to put that money towards one of my many other bags I was buying at the time. In line with the bowling bag and satchel style, this is a Coach legacy bag that my mom had. She picked it up, I think, at a thrift store many years ago. It was way too big for her. She tried to sell it on her Poshmark and no bites, and she was trying to sell it for like $30 and no one was biting on it. And it's in rough condition. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's perfect. I mean, when she got it, it definitely, you know, it's been through some things, but it's still a beautiful, real full leather bag. So I don't know why people are cray-cray, but interior is basically spot free. I'm not gonna unstuff it because it's a very floppy bag if it's not stuffed, and I don't want to deal with that right now. But I do love this. It's not a bag where you can attach a strap. I mean, you probably could attach one somehow here angled across the bag, which I don't like, but there are feet on it. It's very similar to the Rowan, but closer to like a Speedy 30 size. And it comes with, and I think this is common of some of these legacy style bags at this time. I think this bag's from like 2013. It has tassels, and then it has the blue hang tag. I added this maple color hang tag to it a while back because I had it from a bag that I don't have anymore, and I must have lost it, I don't know. But the maple color is very close to this like burgundy oxblood color. And maybe this is brown and I've been thinking it's burgundy all along. I don't really know. But I thought it was kind of cute to hang those together. And then we know I don't love danglies, so I wish this would come off, but it's fine. But this is not leaving my collection either because, I mean, if you just want to put it like, realistically, it's not worth anything. No one is buying them. I've seen these pop up before for sale, and it looks like people are giving these away practically. So for that, I will keep it. It was a gift from my mom, which I will always appreciate, and I think it's beautiful. And I get a lot of compliments when it's sitting behind me, or when I post on Instagram pictures of my display and you can see it. Next is my Coach Court bag, and I believe this is from like 97 or 98, somewhere around there, and it's in navy blue. The hang tag actually came from my chunky case that I bought in the same color, but I put it on here because I wanted this to have one. Turn lock's in pretty good shape, and then inside it does come with the crossbody strap and all of that jazz. I have carried this I think once or twice. It's not my favorite bag to carry, I'll be 100% honest with you, but I don't foresee this leaving my collection because I just love the history of the court. And I love the navy blue, and this is one of the few vintage navy blue bags that you can actually tell is navy blue, so I do love that about it. It hasn't been treated or conditioned to a point where it's no longer blue. So I don't think that's going to leave my collection. I paid, I think, right at $100 for that one too. I do think I could probably sell it because I have conditioned and cleaned it up a little bit, and if I was willing to sacrifice my chunky case tag to sell with it, I do think I could probably get closer to $125, maybe even a little bit more for it. But I don't think I want to do that. I did get rid of my Coach Cassie, and I'll throw a picture of that up here. And the reason I do this together is because the Coach Cassie is what Coach says, you know, came after the court. So it's a revamped court, even though everyone, and I mean, when I say everyone, I mean a lot of my friends and me, the Cassie was a complete rip of the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. It was a better bag in my opinion. Full leather, cost a fraction of the price, and I never saw anyone complaining of glazing issues and things that some of the early Métisses had. So I loved the bag. I just didn't carry it, and it sat on the shelf and collected dust with this one. And one day when I was kind of going through and trying to figure out what I could get rid of, I thought, you know, I'm going to keep the court because it's vintage, it's old, it's harder to get. But the Cassie, I'm like, you know, I've used it a few times. It's not my favorite style of bag to carry. I have other smaller bags that I like more. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let it go. So I bought that bag when they discontinued that style for $259, and I sold it for $225. So not too shabby there either. And then in kind of relation to the vintage bags, I also have sold my Coach Willis, and I had it in dark maple or maple, whatever it's called. And I paid $81. I cleaned that bag up because when I got it, if you recall in the video, it was very rough. And I was able to sell it for $125. So I'm glad I was able to clean it up and get it out of here. It's a beautiful bag, and I like the idea of the Willis, but I tried to use it once or twice, and I just do not like the Willis bags. They don't work for me. Yes, they're pretty, but again, I was able to take, you know, of that $125, let's just say $100 worth of profit from the sale, and I was able to put that towards a couple of my other bags and items that I was buying at the time, and that just made more sense for me for something that's sitting on a shelf. So, if it was my only vintage, I probably would have kept it. And I'm going to speed up because this video is getting very long. Next is my Rogue, and this is an older version Rogue with the oxblood interior. I don't carry this as much as I used to. I did used to carry this quite frequently, but it's been a minute now since I have carried her. But I don't see her going anywhere. I do think I could get my money back for her because these have increased in price since I bought her, and she's in excellent condition. But for me, I just don't know if I'm ready to part with it. Maybe someday, but not right now. Definitely not right now, but I do love this bag. For a while I thought I wanted another Rogue, and I've seen several color combinations that I thought were really cool. But ultimately, I've decided one Rogue is enough because I just don't use it enough, and I do not need more than one. Next is a bag that I would like to sell someday, but it's not in great condition, and ultimately, I should have returned it when I first got it because some of these issues I noticed pretty quickly. But this is my pillow Tabby. I've only carried it like 2 or 3 times, and you're probably not going to be able to see it, but on one of the sides, the leather is starting to tear. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it is starting to slightly tear at the fold, which I know is an issue with these bags. And there's just some scuffs and stuff on it that were there when I bought it, but it was hard to get your hands on these at the time, so I decided to keep it. I regret that. Should have sent it back for what I paid. Anyway, so I don't think it's worth anything to sell because with those issues, I mean, I have to disclose that. I'm gonna have to sell this thing for maybe $150, and I paid $500 for it, so I will be keeping it in my collection, maybe gifting it someday to someone. I don't really know, but it is a bag I would sell if I could. And then if you saw my thrift haul a while ago, I was able to score this bag. It's just a little top handle. I love this for going out and stuff, and I think I paid $20 for that. And then, and I am speeding up because this video is getting very long. Next, and actually the last 2 bags in my collection are my 2 pillow Madisons. I made homemade little, strap wraps for them from fabric at Joann's I bought on sale when they were closing. But I do love these bags. This one has the orange gold interior, and this one is gray on the inside. I love these 2. I don't see myself getting more. Recently, I had a friend who was considering selling one, and she'd asked me if I was interested, and I thought about it because it was going to be a good price and one of the colors I always said I wanted. But I decided ultimately not to move forward. I've had the opportunity to buy these several times on the RealReal and Poshmark, eBay, and I've seen them in a similar price point or less, and I don't need more. I don't use them enough to justify the 2 I have, let alone any more. Now this one I'm never getting rid of because it was a gift. I love it, and it is so soft and squishy. I will never get rid of it. This one I also don't think I'll ever get rid of because I don't have a ton of bags in this color, and I do think it's very pretty. But if I was ever going to part with one, it would be the gray. But I don't foresee that happening. I do think my Coach collection is kind of where it's at. I don't see anything leaving, and I don't see anything additional coming. The last bag I sold that I really don't have anything to compare it to, that's a recent item, is my Hadley convertible crossbody bag, and I'll throw a photo up there of what that looks like. I bought it at the outlets for $120, and I was able to sell it for $125. It was a discontinued color, and it was in good shape, so someone snagged it up. Very similar to my burrow bag. I just posted it to see what would happen, and snap, it was gone. So that is my collection, guys. And that is 9 handbags. Now, this does not count my husband's Pride collection bags. Those are his collections, not mine. So I'm not claiming those in this video. But I'm down to 9 bags, which makes Coach one of my smaller collections, actually. I do believe I have more Prada and Louis Vuitton now. It's still a large collection. When you compare my brands, it's still large, don't get me wrong. Like my Dooney & Burke, I have like 3 bags. So this is, trust me, smaller. But this is as small as my Coach collection has ever gotten. So I'm pretty much at peace with it. I think all the bags I have, there's purpose behind it. And like I said, there's maybe, well, actually I lied. I do have one more, but it's buried. But it's a messenger bag. But I'm not counting messenger bags in this. Hiccups. Anyway, I do have a brown Coach messenger bag. It's really packed away right now, so I cannot get to it. That's why I just forgot about it. But as far as like my handbags go, this is it. So if you count that, I have 10. Still way smaller than what my collection has been in the past. So I think my contemporary collection is exactly where I want it. There's a lot of bags coming out from Coach that are fabulous, but I'm refraining because I know I will not use them. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.